guys, and welcome back to another day or another episode of my Mark 5 build. So as you can see behind me, I've completely, well not completely yet, but I've assembled most of the block components. I've got the rods in, I've got the pistons in, I've torqued it down to spec as well. I'll take you through that in a bit as well, just to clarify what the specs are, the torque specs of the ARP bolts and the specs of the main bolts that I basically have. I didn't go for the ARP bolts because they are quite a bit expensive, so I went for the original. Shouldn't be bad as well. It's just the only difference is when you remove them, you have to exchange them because they are basically stage bolts. So let's have a look at it and see how far we basically got with this. And yeah, so as you can see guys, the main caps and the con rods are basically all tied up in here right now. I've just basically finished torquing them. I didn't actually get the footage of me basically torquing them, but I'll basically walk you through the, how can I say, the torque specs of the mains and the ARP bolts that are basically installed in this bottom end or on this crank. So as you can see here, these are the ARP 2000 bolts. I don't know, I'm not sure quite what the original torque specs are of the original con rods and the bolts basically, but with these ARP bolts you have to torque them to, or ARP basically suggests on the lubricant that you get with the bolts that you have to torque them to about 68 Newton meters. So once you torque them to about 68 Newton meters, you have to do it about 3 times for each bolt. So once you tie them up, you have to loosen them up again and tie them up to 68 Newton meters again, and then loosen them up and tie them up again. That's just the procedure you have to follow with these bolts, because these bolts are reusable. So once you remove them, you can actually use the same bolts again, as opposed to the original bolts. It's basically one-time use. You cannot use them over again. So that is the torque specs for the ARP bolts on the con rods. I got these bolts from Volkswagen again. These bolts are basically torqued at 65 Newton meters and a extra 90-degree turn with your ratchet or with your power bar. So once you basically torque them, you have to start from the center from 3. You can either start from 1 day or 1 year. But if you start from 1 year, you count 2. The next one will be 3, then 4, then this side will be 5, then 6, and then you move over this side will be 7 and 8, and then obviously the last would be 9 and 10. That's basically the sequence you have to go. Well, you guys probably know this already, but I'm just going over it again. So that is the torque sequence for the caps once you install them. Just to let you guys know that I've got ACL racing bearings, as you guys know I showed you in a previous post, and as you can see here as well, I've basically installed this already. I just have to get the oil pump attached on here. Once I get the oil pump attached, then I can basically line up the chain that basically runs the oil pump and the balancing shaft pulleys on the oil pump itself. For you guys that don't know that, if you do know, the oil pumps on these cars are quite expensive. Be mindful of your oil pumps when driving. I do know that there is an alternative. The guys normally use the 1.8. I think it's the 1.820 valve, or I'm not sure, but I speak under correction. The 1.820 valve oil pump, where they basically have to drill into the block to customly fit that specific oil pump onto this block. However, I've seen online, if you have a look at Google, there is an original setup with regards to putting an oil pump on. Its bullet oil pump. Deletes the balancing shaft. It just runs the oil pump, but it's much better. In my opinion, I think it's much better than basically drilling into the block and adding that 1.8 20 valve oil pump. I do know a couple of guys that tried using the 1.8 oil pump, and they said that they still ran into some issues with regards to oil pressure with these cars, because as you guys know, these cars are notorious for when driving, the oil light comes on to say check oil pressure. I've had it a couple of times, and well, the most common problem with them is that the oil pickup basically gets dirty. I do have a picture that I'll show you guys as we go on in this video, but yeah, I might even maybe find it in my toolbox, in the box where I basically kept all my parts when I stripped the motor. I'll basically show you how it looked once I removed the oil pump pickup from this engine. It was quite dirty, and that is a contributing factor to oil pressure problems with these cars. So guys, just to let you know, it is the next day. Yesterday my camera died and I thought I'd just call it a night there. But just to show you guys, the marks are basically out right now. But what I did was, before I removed the oil pump, I basically made a couple of marks on the chain and on the pulleys here and on the main pulley, just to put the oil pump back in the same position it was as when I removed the engine. So I did replace the chain. I just put the marks on the new chain from the old chain, and obviously the marks on here, I just aligned them all together again to put the oil pump or the balancing shafts basically in the same position it was as when I removed the motor, because I never really had a problem with them. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm basically going to be torquing down these oil pump bolts right here, and once I torque them down, it should be it should be to a specific spec, so that the oil pump can basically be flat on the surface where the pickup goes through, and it basically puts the oil through all the channels in the block. So you need to basically torque this to a specific torque setting so that it can actually be flat, and there shouldn't be any gaps as to where the oil pump meets the block to push the oil into all the journals like the crank and yeah, all those places where the oil needs to go. So that's what we're going to be doing now. We're just going to be torquing down the oil pump, and we are going to be putting as much as we can back, possibly on this side where the crank, the flywheel goes. I'm just going to leave this like this for the mill, because this is the only thing slowing us down right now. I need to get a new clutch. I'll only be able to get that tomorrow, and once I get the clutch tomorrow, I can just put it on, and then we should be able to put this motor back into the body, and we can work our way up from there. So once the block is in, we're going to put the head on, get the new injectors, put the car, sort the timing out, everything, and basically connect up all this craziness going on here right now. I know it looks like a mess, but everything is documented. I basically took pictures, marked everything in each place it has to go. What I also still need to do is I'm going to be strengthening my mountings a bit, so I'm going to be getting some polyurethane and just filling up the mountings fully with the polyurethane, so that I don't have any vibrations on the engine, or when I'm shifting I should, feel a good stiffness while shifting and pulling the clutch. So that should help with that. Yeah, so let's basically get into it, guys, and see what we can get done. about 10 right now, and I just received my R8 valve springs from the UK today, from a company called AKS Tuning in the UK. What I've been busy with right now is the cylinder head. I've gone up to, well, one, two, three, four valves so far. You can't use your normal regular valve spring removal tool on this end, so I had to use I had to make my own MacGyver to get it out though. And yeah, getting the valve removal springs tool is quite a bit expensive, so I had to make my own plan. I'll just let you guys know. So yes, the reason why I haven't been posting anything on the channel for a while now is because I was waiting for these valve springs from the UK to arrive, and that's what put the build on hold basically. Another thing is that's still supposed to arrive is the RX4 injectors. I decided to go with the RX4. I know a lot of people say that the S3 injectors are easy to install, and they basically made for this engine, the FSI model though. But the RX4 injectors basically work the same as well. The only difference is they just need to be tuned before they do actually work properly. So I opted to go with the RX4 injectors because in future I might go with a bigger turbo instead of the KO4 turbo. So yeah guys, this is basically what I'm busy with right now. As you can see, I got the engine in the bay already. As you can see, this portion's looking nice and shiny over there. Awesome, man. But yeah, that's what it looks like so far, guys. Hopefully once I get all this sorted out, I get all the valve springs in, it should be basically assembling, and yeah, it should take a couple of weeks to finish everything off. Well, not a couple of weeks, maybe a week and a half or 2 or 3 weeks, but that's the situation at the moment, guys. So yeah, once it's all done and it's tuned up, we'll take it for a drive and we'll see what happens. So guys, if we have a look here now, you can see the head is installed. Just tightened up a few things, haven't tightened up everything yet. So yeah, that's how the motor looks thus far. What I'm about to do now is I'm about to torque the head. I've got the torque settings on the Audi side. They basically said it starts off with 40 Newton meters and then 2 90-degree turns to completely, well, to torque up the head completely. Yeah, so need to torque the head right now, get the rockers and the lifters in, and then put the camshafts in. Once that's done, I can start attaching the turbo. Still have some work to do on the turbo though, just some how can I say, well, servicing. And once that's done, then I can basically add the turbo. Not much big things, still the KO4, but yeah, let's get into torquing the head.